This frame on my wall, I can change what's on it through Wi-Fi. Any image, anytime I want. The commercial version of this cost $4.99 US. I made mine with these parts for just around $200. Links to these parts are listed in the below description. Feel free to follow along. Hey everyone, my name is F. Welcome to my channel. Before this project, I had never built anything electronic in my life, so I'm sure if I can do it, you'll be able to do it too. I was scrolling through Instagram one night and a reel caught my attention. It was an e-ink art frame, the kind that displays artwork like on real paper. There's no backlight, so it's very easy on the eyes. It's also pixely, so you don't specifically need a high-resolution picture. The creator did such a good job in the reel, and I was immediately obsessed. So I looked up the price and found it's $4.99. Wow, I closed the tab. But I kept going back to the video, so I started wondering, instead of buying one, maybe can I just make one? I started researching on YouTube. There are quite some videos for 7-inch frames, but nothing much on the 13-inch one I was looking for. But I did find a video that talked about Pimoroni, one from SeeedStudio, and one from Good Display's official channel. Pimoroni quickly went out of the picture because it's the most expensive, costing over $250 US and needs an extra Raspberry Pi, which brings me to close to $300 already. SeeedStudio's price is nice, but when I was looking to buy, it asked me to place back order until 2 weeks later, so I also moved on. I then set my eyes on Good Display. The price is good and it came with a ready-made image upload website, so I don't need to write my own firmware if I don't want to. And most importantly, there was stock available. So the DIY kit from Good Display arrived first. It came with a cable, a board, and a panel that was extremely well packed. This is the default image that the panel came in with. I wanted to start putting things together, and I usually start by talking to Gemini. Well, I'm from Taiwan, so I always talk to AIs in Mandarin. I asked Gemini to read the manual for me. That's when I hit the first challenge. Turns out I'm not supposed to leave this board powered on constantly, but the power switch on the board is tiny, and I won't be able to reach it without taking the whole frame off of the wall. But I don't want to do that every time I change an image. So I asked Gemini, how do I keep it convenient without damaging the board? Gemini's answer was simple. A Type-C cable with a built-in switch. The board stays on and the cable controls the power. Next is to design the stack. The frame and the paper board for the display window are straightforward. The key decision here would be where to place the PCB and the battery. If I stack the battery and the PCB between the e-ink panel and the frame's backboard, I'd be putting pressure directly on the screen. That felt like a terrible idea. So Gemini suggested to route the connection through the frame's backboard and put a battery and the PCB outside. This way, the screen stays completely untouched. Everything arrived. Time to build. Good Display kit. A photo frame from IKEA. FPC 60-pin connector. FPC 60-pin extension cable. Battery. Type-C switch cable. Let's get started. The assembly itself was actually quite fast, but then the IKEA frame's window didn't perfectly match the e-ink panel. There was a gap around the edges, so I took the piece of paper that came with the frame and cut it into just the right size. Slid it in first and placed the panel on top. Next is to cut a slot in the backboard. I tried to find the best place for the slot by laying out where the PCB and FPC cable would go. Seems like the lower right corner in the vertical view is the best place. So I drew the lines and started cutting. The backboard was tougher than I thought, so it took me a while, but eventually the small yellow knife got me through it. I attached the FPC connector to the panel's cable, then the FPC extension cable, then the PCB. Looks like the slot on the backboard fit quite nicely, so I mounted the board back on. Then is the battery and the Type-C cable. Customer service from Good Display told me that I can actually also use a portable phone charger to supply power to the board, but I eventually still decided to use a battery pack simply due to cost. I will mainly put the frame vertically on my wall, so I placed the Type-C switch on the bottom. But of course you can put it wherever you like if your cable is in the ideal length. After securing each part with tapes, the frame is ready for hanging. When you power the frame on, it shows the default picture defined by Good Display's firmware. The frame broadcasts its own Wi-Fi called NeoFrame. Type in the default password 123456798. A web page should pop up by itself. If it doesn't, scan this QR code here and it will take you to the website you can upload your picture. Or simply open a browser and go to this link. Notice that if you have a Wi-Fi version like I do, you must be connected to the NeoFrame Wi-Fi to change the picture via Good Display's website. Pick an image, upload. The screen flickers while the picture is changing. It takes about 30 seconds, but I think the wait just builds up my excitement every time I change a new picture. I really like it. I've had it up for a few weeks now. I change the picture more often than I thought I would have. Sometimes it's a painting, sometimes it's a photo that I took in my last family trip, sometimes it's a Buzz Lightyear poster. I know the build looks quite different from the commercial product, but hey, the commercial version costs $4.99 and mine is just around $200. And $175 of that is the e-ink panel itself. The rest is just IKEA and super cheap parts. I had no engineering background before this, but I had ideas and questions, and AI is always patient enough to bounce with me. The feeling of accomplishment after research, design, and finally putting it on the wall, that's kind of the whole point. All the parts I used are linked in the below description. My purchases are from Taobao, which works nicely if you're based in Asia. But I'm listing in the description links from AliExpress for you, which is more friendly for international shipping. Feel free to check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is there something you've been trying to make?